Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to To Be Determined. Today we are going over the witch mask, the most effective ways to get it, and how useful it is. Before we get into all that, I want to thank you guys once again for 750 subs. We're 3/4 of the way to 1,000 subs, and that's all thanks to you guys. I've been so blessed. So if you haven't already, be sure to hit that subscribe button and join our Discord. We're currently giving away the OG roll, but we're only giving it out until we hit 1,000 subs, so be sure to join the Discord before that point. But once again, thank you guys, and let's get into the video. Alright, so today we're going over the witch mask, and you can already see I've got some bats flying over my head. That is because of the witch mask's ability called Bat Swarm. It summons 2 bats that will follow you and attack nearby enemies, dealing 7,402.2 damage upon exploding. Your bats will not spawn on your island. So I think this damage is based around how much mana you have. So if we swap over to my necrotic final destination and put it on, then the damage goes up because we have more intelligence with our necrotic final destination than we do with our crimson set. But we're actually going to be using this with our superior set today, so we're going to be doing 7,683 damage with these bats. Now these bats are kind of useful for AFK strategies, but I'm pretty sure they were nerfed. But we're going to test them out real quick. So if you're anywhere near a mob, it will fly to it and explode. That one hit for 35,000 damage, so it does a bit more damage than it says it does on the helmet. So I know a lot of people use this for the dwarven mines. So you go to the dwarven mines and then you go to the ice wall, and you can just farm glassite jewels there while you're AFK. And that just makes life a lot easier, and it's a passive money making method if you don't need the jewels. But if you do need the jewels, this is a really good way to do that. If you have trouble getting your damage, if you actually hold a pickaxe, then you'll deal a bit more damage. You can see I just dealt 6.4 mil to one of these mobs here. So if you hold a pickaxe and go out to one of these guys, you're gonna deal a ridiculous amount of damage. 3.2 million. Holy cow, that is pretty crazy. But this is the main strategy that I know of that it's used for. But we currently only have the base stats on this, so we are gonna actually enchant it real fast. If you didn't know, if you have a cookie, you can do /ET, and you can enchant your items from anywhere. So there we go, growth 5, prot 5, and we are also going to pop some hot potato books onto this piece /anvil, throw it in there, and we can just pop our hot potato books on. But hot potato books are only good for health and defense, so you really don't want to put it on this, but I'm just doing it for the low W's because I'm still dealing the same amount of damage. But if we warp to the dungeon hub and get our hands on a necromancer's brooch from the bazaar, you can find it in the low reforged stones right here, necromancer's brooch. Grab one of these and then talk to this guy. Advanced reforging, pop it on there for 80k. Now we have an extra 90 intelligence, so our damage should be increased by quite a bit now. Unfortunately, you cannot star this piece, so other than recombobulating, this is about the most that you can do to this. You could put Legion on it, but other than that and recombobulating it, there's not much more you can do to upgrade this. But like I said, you don't really need to. There's not a ton of things that you're going to be able to AFK and not kill, outside of the Crimson Isles at least. And even if you do all of this stuff, I don't think you'll have enough intelligence to one-shot anything too high level from the Crimson Isle. You can see this guy is using a vampire mask, which is a bit less effective than the switch mask considering how much more expensive that is. But holy cow, we deal an extra 200,000 damage now. Before we were dealing 3.2 mil, now we're dealing 3.4 mil. And that's just because of the 90 intelligence gain. If we actually put on a decent pet for this, like a sheep pet, our damage should go up tremendously. Okay, there we go. It just took it a minute to update. It went up by like 800,000 damage, so using a sheep pet is going to be good. But if you can already one-shot the creature, you should probably use a black cat pet or a griffin pet, something with magic find. But you can see how it's useful. Let's talk about how you get it and how you can upgrade it. So you actually get the witch mask from participating in a spooky festival. You have to get over 2,000 candy points during the festival, which is pretty easy with the strategy I'm going to show you guys here in a second. But you can also upgrade this mask to a vampire witch mask, which combines the witch mask with the vampire mask that we saw that guy using a minute ago. Basically, you get both abilities, you get a higher rarity mask, and you get more health and defense. And all you need is 7 ectoplasm, the witch mask and the vampire mask. The vampire masks are a little harder to get your hands on. They only come from spooky festivals when Foxy is mayor. You have to get 2,000 points in those festivals, which is a lot easier, but the festivals are a lot rarer, so the masks are a lot more expensive. But basically, how spooky festivals work is at 7 p.m. on the time. So you can see right here, it is 2:50 p.m. right now. Once that gets to 7 p.m., special spooky mobs will spawn in the wilderness and in the graveyard. So you're going to want to go to the wilderness and back towards this area. There are going to be mobs all around here until like I think 6 or 7 a.m. on the time on the right side of the screen. But you're going to come back to this tree over here. The fairy pond is on the opposite side of it, but you're going to be right here. And before the event starts, you're going to want to get your hands on some blaster lanterns if you can afford them. Currently going for like 1,300 per piece at the lowest, but you can also craft them with pumpkin guts and green candy to make half a stack of them. So that's probably the better way to do it. You can buy both of these items from the spooky section in the bazaar, and you're basically going to sit here and just spam these blaster lanterns. It's basically like a bonzo staff, because if you shoot it, it'll shoot you backwards, but it's going to deal extra damage to the spooky mobs, because spooky mobs don't have health like normal mobs. They actually take hits like Jerry's or like the dropships and Kuja fights, and these blaster lanterns deal 2 damage to spooky enemies, so you can deal 2 damage to any enemies within the radius. Plus, some of those enemies are going to be Wither Gormans, which drop these blaster lanterns, so you won't have to keep refueling too much. You might want to craft 2 or 3 stacks, but if you keep Wither Gormans in your rotation of mobs that you destroy, you should be able to keep your hands on a decent amount of blaster lanterns. And I joined the spooky festival half an hour late, so I only had half of the spooky festival to grind, and I still managed to get over 2,000 points. I think I got to 2,400 or something, and that was only in half the festival, so the strategy definitely works. Now, while it is daytime, the spooky mobs aren't going to be here, so you're going to want to go back to the graveyard. So if you have a warp to the crypts, you can do that, but you're going to want to come back over to the crypts and use some kind of ranged weapon, whether it's a Juju or a Spirit Scepter, Hyperion, something like that. Just run around and destroy all these crypt ghouls, and keep an eye out behind you, because sometimes they will drop the trick-or-treat chest and you can grab those for some extra points. Now, if you don't want to do that, you can just buy the witch mask on the auction house. It goes for about 120,000 coins right now, but if you can, I do recommend taking advantage of this strategy. I only did the second half of the festival, and I got 1,000,000 coins for participating and getting a high rank. I came in 758, plus I got 2.6 million coins from purple candy, 600,000 coins from green candy. I got the witch mask, and I got a skeleton horse pet, which sells for 500,000 coins at George, or you can try and sell it on the auction house for a little bit more. But basically, I made like 5 mil in half an hour. So you're definitely going to want to take advantage of these spooky festivals if you can. With this strategy, your damage output doesn't really matter. So even if you just joined the game like a month ago, if you can afford to get your hands on some of these blaster lanterns, you can make so many coins in such a short amount of time. All right, it's that time again. We're gonna go ahead and drop our witch mask off in our museum. It goes into the rarity section, and you can see it will actually count for a vampire mask as well, although we are still gonna try and get our hands on one of those eventually so that we can craft the vampire witch mask. But here we go. You can go ahead and guess the value. I think it's gonna be around 100,000 coins, but let me know what you think it's gonna be in the comments. Let's see if you were right. 68,000 coins. Okay, so that's a bit less than I was hoping for, but it could definitely be worse. Plus, we got the vampire mask counted now, so that's quite the bonus. I'll take that. It's gonna be odd though. Once we get a vampire mask, it'll count for like hopefully 6 million coins or something, and it's considered worse than the witch mask in the museum. But look at that, 204 out of 282 items donated. We're 72.3% of the way to finishing this challenge. So if you guys want to help me stay motivated, please remember to leave a like and subscribe. That's going to be all for me today. I hope you did enjoy today's video. I'll see you guys in the next episode of Museum Mastery. Thank you so much for watching. God bless.